I'm Gabby Dizon, co-founder of YGG.
I'm Jiho. I'm a co-founder of Sky Mavis. We're the inventors of Axie Infinity and Rodent.
All right, Koji, please tell us a little bit about what you're building.
We're building a number of games. Parallel, the card game, Parallel Sanctuary, which is a third-person extraction shooter, and Parallel Colony, which is a AI colony survival surf. And then we have Wayfinder, which is a natural language model for navigating the blockchain.
Yeah, my name is Luke. I'm the founder of Pixels.
I'm Hata, co-founder of Moku, and I am building Grand Arena.
David from eFrontier, working as a community developer. And what we're building is a hardcore space survival MMO game. Many people know our IP from EVE Online, which has been existing for 23 years, 65 million players since the start. And now we're kind of taking away the centralized points and creating a similar world as EVE Online, but with blockchain aspects.
Hi, I'm Carney. I'm the head of marketing at Horizon Labs, and we are publishing a lot of games. We are working with Somnia for Dream Catalyst, and it's an accelerator, and we're accelerating games and other products through Somnia, and also publishing both Web 2.5 like games and casual degen experiences.
Hi guys, I'm Logic. I run Growth Lead, Growth Ops, and Creator Ops at Cambria, and we're building the world's first risk-to-earn MMORPG called Cambria.
All right, guys, I'm Hero Michael, founder of Andromeda.
So Andromeda is the universe of belonging, where we use AI and gaming to bring people together. We have an AI platform right now called Yap World, where it's designed to learn about the user, integrates into all the different applications on your phone, and it's once it learns about the user, it creates a personality profile to find other users that have shared values to create real-world friendships. And then on the other side, we have a mobile game called Swarms. It's going to be soon on console as of next year once it's in its gold version. But Swarms is designed to be this competitive hack and slash where you're really locked in. And the cool part is co-op multiplayer is coming to Swarms. So Yap World actually integrates into Swarms. You can see everything you're doing. So you're never playing alone. You're never playing by yourself. And it's going to help you find friends that you can actually play the game with. So every single thing that we do and every single thing that we've built in Andromeda is designed to actually facilitate real-world friendship, and we're super happy to be exactly where we are in terms of our progress and where our products are at.
Hey, I'm Matt. I'm CEO and co-founder of Warp, and we're building a games publisher for Web3 gaming and internet capital market or user acquisition. So it's going to be fun.
What inspired me, I've been a game developer for a long time, and experimenting with crypto and NFTs 7 years ago really inspired me to continue building in Web3.
I grew up as a gamer and a collector. I was actually never really interested in crypto. I thought that it was boring. I thought that it was just a way to maybe make some money. But I learned about NFTs, and then I saw how it could combine my passions, gaming, collecting. It's because, as I mentioned, right, I grew up collecting insects, fossils, playing video games. The first thing I ever did on the internet was play StarCraft, right? So StarCraft literally taught me how to use the internet. So I thought, hey, like, crypto's always been kind of boring and scary, but if we could combine it with collectibles and gaming, that seems like a way to make it more accessible for the mass market.
I grew up playing video games. I said earlier today that I was an only child, and I was raised by my Nintendo, and that's definitely true. So that kind of always made me want to try and make my own, and given the opportunity, it was amazing.
I mean, I grew up playing RuneScape, so I think it's what attracted me to building in Web3 gaming. I was actually inspired to move into Web3 gaming because of Axie. I saw them blowing up, and I thought that was the first time that cryptocurrencies really made sense to me, where it's like, oh, obviously, it should be used inside of a game. And like, that makes total sense. I grew up playing RuneScape. I used to buy items and sell items for real money playing RuneScape. And I was like, I want to be a part of that, like, that as well.
I really love gaming. That's my background. It started with StarCraft and League of Legends, and crypto because I also love gambling.
Well, the thing is, I'm not a co-founder and not a builder. What inspired me to kind of join the Web3 space in the first place was the opportunity to express freedom, right? With decentralization, you kind of remove those aspects of being controlled. So that's my personal story.
So I've been in crypto since 2017, and gaming and crypto, in my mind, felt like there was always a match there. And for a long time, you know, you saw that with CryptoKitties early on, which is like one of the earliest Web3 games. And then you obviously saw that with Axie, and that kind of piqued my interest. I've always been a gamer my entire life. I loved crypto. Kind of seeing the potential of those two combinations really inspired inspired me though, working with gaming.
I don't want to date myself a little bit, but Yap World was actually inspired. If anybody remembers the show Mega Man from the 90s and early 2000s. So in Mega Man, it was everybody had their own like AI sentient characters called Navis. They all integrated in all these different applications, and they were basically their sidekicks through life. We wanted to bring that exact thing to life, and that's exactly what Yap World is. It's your own personal companion that knows everything about you, designed to connect you with other people, but also designed to be your helper for every single thing that you do in life. And then Swarms was actually inspired by one of my favorite pastimes ever, which was Nazi zombies, but the original Nazi zombies back in like 2009 to 2013. I've spent thousands of hours playing that game, and I thought, hey, Web3 gaming doesn't have this like super challenging game where it gets you to lock in, you're sweating, you want to keep playing. And so that was the inspiration for this game, and it's so cool to see so many people enjoying it and having a lot of fun playing.
I wanted people to come up. So I saw like how ambitious everyone was, and you know, Web3 gaming is a better way of doing games. Actually, you have to make better games to make people stay, because they can leave. So I like it.
There's a lot of challenges. I think still having a product that seamlessly uses the technology on a product that millions of people can use. We're not there yet, but every year the games are getting better, the products are getting better.
Honestly, I think the biggest challenge that Web3 gaming studio space, well, it's twofold, really. The stigma around Web3 and sort of the too much focus on Web3. I think that like it is a piece of technology that enables certain behaviors, but really we should be focusing on the games and figuring out the Web3 elements.
I don't know, it shouldn't be the main focus.
I think the biggest problem with games in Web3 is that they're not choosing to go fully into a Web3 audience or fully into Web2 audience. The way that we're solving it is we're leaning hard into the Web3 crowd and why they're in crypto.
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest challenges for gaming studios is their struggle on going to market, because there's so much competition these days and it's hard to stand, apart from the horde. And I think crypto and, NFTs in the future, it might not look that way right now, but will help these gaming studios kind of look further apart from, the masses. And the reason why I was saying that is because you see it with Steam right now and kind of like the issues with digital ownership, and you're seeing it with like, all these other subscription models that are coming to play. There's not a lot of ownership in gaming. And I think one of the biggest issues with game studios is that they're kind of avoiding that. And I think they should commit towards game ownership.
I think the biggest challenge that we're facing in Web3 is users and understanding. So a lot of Web3 projects, in my opinion, went wrong because they just started building things that no one really cared about. They basically took games that had no reason for tokens, had no reasons for NFTs, and they're just like, oh, everybody's gonna love this clone of this actual Web2 game, not realizing that that's not how the world works and that's not how people work. And so I think building things with purpose is really important, and that's why we've built effectively the platform that we have. So for example, the reason that we have a token, the reason that we have blockchain is so that you can prove the ownership over the apps that you create. So then when you're actually earning from them or people are talking to them, you know that this is your creation, you can trade it, you can sell it when you're ready to go. Versus, hey, we just want to put something on chain just to put it on chain and then call it a Web3 game.
Biggest challenge is terrible games. And we have 300 years of experience in making games not so terrible. So we're here to help make those games more fun, better, and more exciting.
For players, it means that, I have assets I can own, I can trade. Like, it's all very natural. It's already happening in some Web2 games in their own closed ecosystems. But I think within Web3 ecosystem, it just means that any game can have it.
You'll probably see different types of successes, right? You'll have your games that are fun and maybe look like a Web2 game, but have been able to find ways to use crypto kind of on the back end to deliver the benefits of Web3 to gamers. On the other hand, you might have like more kind of on-chain games or games that really lean into like play to earn, risk to earn, reputation, token incentives.
I mean, I think it just looks like an evolution of what players are already doing. Like, success in Web3 just means a successful Web3 game, and the player experience shouldn't be that different. Like, we'll use Parallel as an example. People know how to play Hearthstone. Play Parallel should feel very similar, except that you're able to, trade, sell, collect
your cards. I think if Web3 gaming succeeds, there's going to be two types of success. The first one is going to be like your traditional Web2 games, maybe Off the Grid, Reaper's Actual, that type of game. And I would say the other form is going to be your crypto game, which is more degen, more focused on earning, more focused on speculation, closer to like your poly market or pump funds.
Well, I think it would be just games in general, right? For example, like we are doing on the Frontier, we're creating a game where the Web3 aspects are a part of the game mechanics. So Web3 gaming, when these things are seamless and Web2 players don't even notice them, that's when we have succeeded, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you heard it on stage on Gamified. It's going to look just like gaming, and it's just going to be pretty simple. You're going to be able to own your assets, you're going to be able to trade on the friends, and you're going to be able to do with what you want to do with those assets. And I also believe that Web3 gaming is still going to have this degen element, and we've seen that in other industries as well, that there is money to be made in certain degen experiences, and I think Web3 gaming will also look like that as well.
I think ultimately, with all the games coming out and all the games that are here at YGG, I would say as a whole, it revolutionizes the industry of gaming. Like, I do believe that everyone here is fighting the same fight. Yes, we're competing for X, Y, and Z, but ultimately the goal is to get the whole world into Web3 gaming as a whole.
I think that looks like a better life. It looks like being able to sell your sword in game and then go to the cinema with it. It looks like, enjoying your life, paying for your tuition, doing all of those things with games you love and enjoy.
Well, hopefully hitting millions of people in the same way that mobile games first didn't seem like a real thing, and then millions of units later, then everybody was playing games like Angry Birds, Candy Crush. I think we're not yet at that moment, but that's what we're building towards.
Gaming is a hits-driven business, right? So we saw what Axie did, we saw what Pixels did. So I believe that new game loops, new innovation, new titles, right, will be what gets the industry to where it needs to go. And yeah, as I mentioned, right, I see a lot of promising projects, right, in the lab, cooking up things that haven't been really experimented with before.
When we're chatting again the next 2 years, if it's here again, I want to see my games winning all the awards.
Yeah, so for Pixels, I want to see us hitting like 1 to 10 million DAU and like 10 million a month of revenue. Like, I want us to be benchmarked against the biggest Web2 gaming companies, basically. And if we don't hit that in 2 years, I think we've done something seriously wrong. I think we're at the point now where we've tried a lot of things, and I think we see a more clear path forward. And now it's kind of executing on that and like proving to the Web2 industry that there is something here within Web3 gaming.
Grand Arena is going to be the next generation of AI content and daily fantasy.
Wow, I mean, we have huge visions, right? First of all, the main vision is to create a game that would stay forever. That's the vision, E forever. In 2 years' time, we have launched, because we are now in an alpha, and we have 1 million at least active players in our user base.
Yeah, so in 2 years, hopefully Uprising has a handful of successful published titles, and we hope to be working with some bigger game studios. Our goal is always to do a AAA title, and I don't know if we'll see that in exactly 2 years, but that would be a massive goal of ours.
Yeah, so 2 to 3 years from now, I want to see the builders will succeed in what they're doing. I definitely think right now it is a tough time in the market. I want the majority of the world to know about crypto. I do think it's the new financial system, and gaming as a sector of it just makes the most sense. In terms of Cambria, I want us to be the best like no one ever was.
Yes, so the cool thing about Yap World and what we're doing with our games is we plan to integrate these AI companions in as many games as we possibly can. And we're also currently in the process of partnering with all these different universities and all these different health companies, because the AIs are built with what's called an agentic memory system. So they remember you over time. And if we're able to integrate these AIs into all these different med tech devices, not only can it track your personality, but it'll also be able to start tracking your health as like an ongoing dashboard. So like, let's say, for example, we just partnered with a type 1 diabetes nonprofit. And the idea here is, let's say your blood sugar is low and you have type 1 diabetes, your AI companion will literally tell you, hey, your blood sugar is low, go drink a juice. And with this, we're going to be able to get into preventative medicine. We're going to be able to get into progressive education. And we're super, super excited in terms of all the possibilities that this allows for. And the coolest part, sorry to go on and ramble, but the coolest part is you can earn from your yaps. And the way that you do that is similar to the YouTube model. When you're posting a video on YouTube, if enough people watch it, you get invited in the YouTube creator program. We've applied that exact same model to the AI companions, where if you design a companion, you customize its personality, you can train it on PDFs, you can make it watch videos. I can turn my companion into you if I wanted. If enough people talk to your companion, you're then also invited into our creator program, which we share 40% of our subscription revenues with these eligible creators. Because for us, we want the creator as a partnership model where if you're doing things to help our platform grow, we want you to be bought in and effectively one of the people who are rewarded for helping our platform grow.
I'd like us to be the biggest publisher in Web3 games with the biggest amount of guilds and the biggest amount of chain partners. And I want us to be sitting on top of $1 billion franchise.
I think it should be actually pretty different. So now we're starting with crypto native users, but I think as the technology gets more mainstream, paying with stable coins, for example, I think we can open it up to more mainstream users.
I mean, I think it's a mix, right? Like you have to market like a traditional here to maneuver in a traditional markets, but there's a different style of marketing that you have to adopt to sort of attract the more Web3 native audiences, because what they're looking for is very different than what a Web2 audience is looking for.
See, I've actually changed my opinion as a while. Just I've had a long-standing belief that Web3 games should be a little bit different, and I still believe in that. We're kind of famous for not doing any paid user acquisition. We used to use the tagline that Pixels grew to like millions of users with $0 of marketing spent. But I am changing my thought process now, and I actually think that we need to go and expand outside of Web3 gaming. We need to bring in a new audience. So there's a couple things behind that. One, we need to build products that are easier for normal users to be actually interacting with. Like Pixels right now, you need a wallet, you need to know cryptocurrency, and it's actually holding us back. We're actually gonna start doing paid UA in the Web 2 after we kind of do a refresh on some of the UX. And we even have a new game coming out. It's like almost completely Web 2 on the front end. Like if you didn't know, you'd be playing a Web 2 game, but there's some really interesting earn aspects on the back end that are powered by crypto. That's kind of going to be the model moving forward.
So I think it depends on the type of game that they have. If it's a very traditional game, then you can do Web 2 UA. If it's something that is more crypto heavy, then it's a little bit harder to onboard traditional players. For example, for our product, Grand Arena, if we ever did Web 2 user acquisition, it would be with people that play daily fantasy, not necessarily gamers.
Well, it depends on what kind of game you are, right? I mean, some of the games, the Web3 games, are very, have a lot of DeFi aspects. There's a lot of these things. I mean, for us, it's almost like a Web 2.5 kind of approach. For us, it's natural to onboard, Web 2 players in the same amount of as we are focusing on the Web 3 gamers. I would say yes, if you want to succeed long term, you have to use both the traditional platforms to promote yourself, but also the kind of the degen platforms as we're doing here.
Yeah, I would actually stand by that. They should market like traditional games. You want to focus on the game first. We've kind of seen it in the past where when you're just trying to promote it to a crypto audience by itself, you really don't receive as big as a audience.
Web3 games definitely need a new playbook. Web3 games as a whole, ultimately, it boils down to, can I make money? In traditional games, you play traditional games mainly for fun. Of course, Web3 games should be fun, but the earning potential is there, right? And owning your assets and able to buy, sell, trade it is a big part of Web3 gaming, right? So yeah, it needs a playbook, but it also needs to evolve from Web2 gaming with adding the earning part and able to market what makes it different between Web2 and Web1.
I think they need to be as good as traditional games to even be allowed to market like traditional games. I think that's the main barrier, quality. As soon as we get there, traditional games marketing works for Web3 games too.
For bringing people together in this space.
Right now we're seen as a pioneer that gave birth to the industry. But that doesn't mean anything if this industry doesn't have legs, right? So I want Web3 gaming to work. I want play to earn and, all these experiments with on-chain economies to actually work. To be really seen as one of the fathers of this concept of digital nations and player-owned economies.
If we're being honest, I spend most of my time on stage trying to make people laugh. So as long as people remember me as funny, I'll be happy.
Cool. I want to be the person who solved play to earn.
We're changing this industry for the better.
Oh, I mean, it's to kind of be the first to really pull something off like we're doing. That's something that I wouldn't be remembered for. And being the one who is building that community, the foundation of the journey that we're going to with this game.
I would just say someone who was personable and kind and, was really looking to push the gaming industry forward. I think that's really important. Again, in my opinion, digital ownership is absolutely everything in gaming. I've seen it in my own experiences on Rocket League. They banned trading, and I really hope that we don't see that, those kind of experiences happen again. So
Yeah, for me, be a good human being. That's definitely something I want to be remembered for, and to take care of my friends and family.
I hope people remember me as somebody who built really, really cool things, who provided incredible experiences, did things that made people happy. And every single time I get a message from one of my community members saying, "Hey, Tatted, thank you so much for all you do. This is so much fun," or "I met this person because of you," or "I found my friends because of you," or "because of what you built." It just makes me so, so happy to see people enjoying what we've created, and just seeing the things that started in my imagination become real and actually impact people's lives. It's the most rewarding feeling I can ever explain to you.
Person who's safe Web3 gaming.